My goodness, it looks like Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy Brondello is under fire. She's now being called racist. She's being called racist. We got to get into this, man. People are saying Angel Reese took a cheap shot at Toronto Tempo forward Naira Sabally. Okay, Naira Sabally was injured in this game by Angel Reese, and Sandy Brondello was caught on a microphone saying something about Angel Reese as a species.
In the unforgiving arena of professional women's basketball, a single moment can ignite a firestorm that transcends the sport itself. And right now, the entire WNBA is engulfed in a blaze of controversy. Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy Brondello is under fire. She's being called a racist. This isn't just a basketball dispute, it's a cultural flashpoint. The accusation is that Angel Reese, the league's most polarizing rookie, took a blatant cheap shot. She delivered a devastating elbow to the sternum of Toronto Tempo forward Naira Sabally during a heated contest, an act so violent it left Sabally crumpled on the court, needing assistance to be helped off the floor. But the story didn't end there. The Real explosion occurred when Brondello, in a moment of unguarded fury, was caught on a live microphone. The words she uttered about Angel Reese in the heat of the moment are now echoing across the internet. She called her a species, a different species, a ticking species. The comments are being dissected, analyzed, and condemned. The Angel Reese fanbase, the Reese's Pieces, are on full attack mode, not playing games. They are going after the veteran coach, calling her out for what they perceive as a deeply rooted, unprofessional, and borderline racist attack on their superstar. This isn't just a coach criticizing a player's play, it's a coach calling a young black woman's humanity into question. The drama erupted in a messy, congested play. Angel Reese, relentless as always, was fighting for position. As she drove toward the basket, she threw her elbow directly into the sternum of Naira Sabally. The impact was immediate and sickening. Sabally, a key piece of the Toronto Tempo's roster, went down in obvious agony. The fear in the arena was palpable as medical staff rushed to her side, with initial fears she might have suffered a broken rib. This was the flashpoint, the physical act that would trigger a war of words.
You can see Angel Reese here. One of the ways that you can be effective is to just never give up on the
It looks like she threw her elbow into Sabaly's sternum here.
play, but in that one in particular, looks like there was some contact on Naira Sabally.
Wow, she's being helped.
Sabally won't need the stretcher. She's being helped off the floor. Was in a congested play.
She might have broke one of her ribs or something. I don't know. This is crazy.
Trying to...
While the referees reviewed the footage, the immediate concern was for Sabally's health. But the coaching staff, led by Sandy Brondello, wasn't just concerned. They were enraged. Angel Reese's physicality, her relentless motor, had been a thorn in the side of the Tempo all night. For Brondello, a coach who preaches discipline and control, seeing her player taken down by such an aggressive, borderline dirty play was a bridge too far. It was in this exact moment of boiling frustration that the veteran coach made a catastrophic error in judgment. She leaned over, her voice caught in the hot mic, and made the comment about Angel Reese. Whether she said she's a different species or she's a freaking species, the implication was the same. It was a dehumanizing label, a remark that stripped the player of her status as a talented, if aggressive, athlete and reduced her to something other. This wasn't a tactical critique of a foul. This was a visceral, personal attack. The immediate long-term strategic consequence is that the Toronto Tempo organization is now in damage control. Their head coach has created a national headline, turning a hard-fought loss into a crisis of character that threatens to define their season. To understand the magnitude of this, you have to examine the psychological battleground of the modern WNBA. This isn't a league for the faint of heart. It is a physical, high-stakes game where the margin for error is razor-thin. But the reaction to Angel Reese's style has always felt different. She plays with a ferocity and a willingness to dish out contact that has drawn comparisons to legendary enforcers of the past. Yet, the backlash to her dirty play feels amplified. It feels personal.
Sandy Brondello's in the background saying, Angel, she's a different species or she's a freaking species or something. Let's take, hold on.
She rolled over.
Sandy Brondello pleads her case. Carl Smesko has walked over closer to the officials.
Sandy Brondello was pissed about that play. And you got people, what did Sandy Brondello just call Angel Reese, bro? A ticking species out of line. Okay,
Sandy Brondello's comments have opened a door that many in the WNBA have been reluctant to walk through. Is there a double standard? When veteran white players play with physicality, they are lauded for their toughness. When Angel Reese does it, she is called a thug, and in Brondello's case, a species. Sandy Brondello is a seasoned coach. She has seen it all, but she has rarely, if ever, been so vocal. For her to crash out, to lose her composure to this degree, suggests a deep-seated frustration that goes beyond the statistics of a single game. This is a question of who gets to be physical. Reese's game is a modern art form of aggressive rebounding and second-chance points, reminiscent of a Dennis Rodman. She plays with a level of mind games and psychological warfare that unsettles opponents. When she elbows Sabali, many see it as a continuation of the physical play that she faces every single game. But Brondello didn't just see a hard foul, she saw a threat. Her species comment paints Angel Reese as something other than a player, something to be feared and despised. It's an attempt to ostracize her, to paint her as an outsider in a league she is rapidly taking by storm.
They were getting all the fouls, rightly or wrongly. We didn't get many fouls at all. That's the story of obviously our career. So, just consistency in that. So we're not getting all the calls that I think we should be. But the aggressor gets it. I think, we've got to be better there. But in the end, turnovers. We can't turn the ball over 20 times and let them score. And we said that was one of their strengths. And, we got to be tougher. We just have to be tougher. The only way, we can't let people...
In the post-game press conference, Brondello had the chance to defuse the situation. Instead, she doubled down, not on the racism accusations, but on her victimhood. She complained about the officiating. She cried. We didn't get the calls. We've got to be tougher. She was creating an us versus the world narrative. She subtly admitted the officiating was a story of our career, implying the league has always been against her and her team. This is a masterclass in deflection, attempting to shift the narrative away from Angel Reese and her own words and onto the referees. But it's a fatal miscalculation. The high-stakes climax is already here. Sandy Brondello's career is hanging in the balance. While she was being dragged online by the Angel Reese fans, she was also losing the respect of neutral observers. By not fully apologizing and accepting accountability for her species comment, she chose to die on the hill of, "We were treated unfairly." The Toronto Tempo now have a coach who represents a controversy that could haunt the franchise for years. Angel Reese, meanwhile, has walked away from this incident not as the villain, but as the wronged party, her legend growing as the public rallies behind her against a coach who has been publicly exposed. Angel Reese didn't just get the last laugh. She exposed a deep fracture in the sport. As the league moves forward, it must ask itself, is the physicality of its star players being judged fairly, or is it still tainted by the very biases that Sandy Brondello so recklessly voiced?